Hello students, welcome back to video number 21 in our SmartPLS video series. In this video, we're going to discuss moderation in SmartPLS. This video number 22 will discuss categorical variables of moderation, and the next video following this, number 23, will be discussing the continuous variables. Then, what is moderation? And how can we call a variable to be a moderator in SmartPLS or in structural equation modeling using SmartPLS? Please stay tuned. This video will give you some background information from the literature about moderation variables, and we'll move into SmartPLS and do an application of moderation effects in SmartPLS, besides graphing our results and reporting them for your PhD thesis or any publications. So please stay till the end of the video to know all the details around categorical moderation variables. Please stay tuned. My fellow students, okay, what is a moderator variable? Okay, then it is a variable that would change a relationship between two variables. It can be an independent variable. Let me just give you a real life example here. If we say online banking system use as the dependent variable, and the independent variable, let's say trust. Okay, if we go with the gender as a moderator variable, then gender, whether male or female, will be influencing the relationship between, or moderating the relationship between trust and online banking system use. Okay, in moderation, we have to state our hypothesis. We got to mention that the moderation, for instance, here, gender would make the relationship between, or would moderate or affect the relationship between trust and online banking system use. Okay, so we have to mention the details of our hypothesis. We cannot state like, okay, there is a moderation in just this relationship. No, that would be too general. Okay, it's not sufficient. We have to state the details. Okay, and we have to state how strong the moderation takes place. Okay, so once we run our bootstrapping in SmartPLS, we'll be able to tell the strength of the moderation between the two variables studied. In addition, we can graph the moderation effect, and graphing the moderation is really important because through graphing, you would be able to understand how an increase in, for instance, or a change in the moderation variable would either increase or decrease the relationship or the moderation between the dependent and independent variables. Okay, so graphing is needed. And we have to understand now, once we go into SmartPLS, we will see the unstandardized product indicator or standardized or the numerical, the mean centering. Okay, we'll come to those. Okay, so standardized mean minus the score and divide which is divided by the standard deviation. And for numerical coding, we use mean centering. For binary coding, like 0 and 1, if we say, for instance, gender here 0 for male, 1 for female, we will use unstandardized product indicator. In our SmartPLS SEM model, which we have been developing our video series on, we will use the unstandardized product indicators. All right. So graphing, we'll come to graphing. I'll show you how we get these graphs and how we get them. All right, let's now move to SmartPLS and show you how it goes. All right, so please stay tuned. Okay, and now we are in SmartPLS. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Let's go into our model, the model that we have been working on, actually. All right. And now, let me just delete this. All right. What I'm going to go with now maybe I can take off trust. Just I want to make the relationships here simpler for you. All right, what I'm going to be studying here, we have here perceived usefulness, all right, and behavioral intention to use. This is the independent variable, and this is the dependent variable, all right? What I'm going to do here is just create a moderating effect, all right? I have the dependent variable as a behavioral intention to use. I will have a moderator variable here. I'll use attitudes towards using as a moderator, and the independent variable is the perceived usefulness, all right? So I am creating here a moderating effect. All right, I'll choose product indicator, all right, product indicator, and unstandardized, okay, unstandardized. Here, you can read here if you wish about the product indicator, two-stage indicator, etc. And why unstandardized means centered and standardized. Okay, so now we use unstandardized data are used for the calculation of the product terms of the interaction effect. Okay, the calculation of the mean centered, and also, okay, in our case, you can read like those cases may be applicable in other types of data sets, but in our data set here, we'll go with the unstandardized. All right, so product indicator unstandardized, and always for the weighing mode we go with automatic. Okay, that's okay. So this is the effect here. I can change it, change the name, moderating effect. I can just keep it as moderating effect so I'm not lost, and just put perceived usefulness multiplied by behavioral intention to use. Okay, so I have changed the name here. All right, I can now just run my bootstrapping to see if there is a moderation in this relationship. Okay, so simply I go calculate and bootstrapping. All right, for the samples I will do maybe, I can do maybe 500 for the sake of simplicity, because I have a large data set. If I go with 1000, it might take a bit of time. So, and then start calculation. All right, let's run the calculations and see what we get. All right. Okay. So, and this is the moderating effect. And usually we have a hypothesis that we already posed in our thesis, and now we're checking through SmartPLS bootstrapping function whether there is a moderation effect, and thus whether we can, according to the T hypothesis or the p-value or both together, whether we can support or reject this hypothesis. All right, let's see. Okay, it's running now 40%. Okay, 42%. All right, so here we can have, let me just give you some more explanation. We can have one moderating effect, we can have two, we can have three, and we run the same bootstrapping for them. It depends on your structural equation model and the theory supporting your relationships or your conceptual model that you have in your thesis or you got in your publication. All right, so while we may have some relationships may be moderated or may have a moderation effect, some others may not have. Those that have a moderation effect, it is very important to show a graph for the relationship. And now, after we run and see if we have any relationship, we will work on the graph. Okay, so this is the moderating effect. You see, here it is. Look at that. The t-value is above 1.96, so it is significant, and the p-value is green and it is 0.00. Okay, so it is significant, and here we have a moderation effect. Okay, let's now, all right, I may consider, this is the path coefficients. Okay, the path coefficient, this is the p-value, t statistics, And this is the moderation effect. Okay. For the confidence intervals, I'll come to them now once I do the reporting. Okay. Now, I'll show you how we can graph, okay, this relationship. So please stay tuned. All right, let's see how we can graph the results that we have got from SmartPLS. All right. Okay, we have to go into a website called Jeremy. All right, I'll just show you here. I was just now in the website. Okay, Jeremy, as you see here, guys, it is Jeremy Dawson.co.uk/slops. All right. Okay, if we just go into this website, we'll have, you go into this page. All right, and since we're using the simple slope tests here, the two-way interaction and standardized, I would, it's not three-way, it's two-way here. I would go with this one actually, all right? With this link, the two-way linear interaction, okay? All right, a note about centered and standardized. You can read here the notes, okay? But usually we can go with this link here, okay? And I have already downloaded the Excel sheet, all right? I'll just open the Excel sheet here, all right? And here's the Excel sheet that I got, all right? So, all right. Okay, I'll just enable editing and just remove this graph here. I will just remove the data here and go into SmartPLS, okay? And simply copy Excel format, okay? And get the data back into the sheet, all right? Hey, I'm just showing you. All right, so let me now fill in the data. This is my dependent variable. Okay, let me just change this. This is the dependent variable. So in this case, this would be the variable. Okay, variable. In this case, that would be the behavioral intention to use. Okay, this is the dependent variable. All right, let me remove those because they don't belong here. Women and okay. So now I have the name of the independent variable is the perceived usefulness. The name of the moderator, okay, is the attitudes. Let me just go perceived this usefulness. This is the moderator is the, we can go back into SmartPLS. This is, and click on the moderator is the attitudes towards using, okay? Attitudes towards using, and the dependent variable is the behavioral intention to use. Okay, this is the dependent variable. I filled in the data here. Now I come to the unstandardized regression coefficients. This is what will make the graph change in this regards. All right. So for the independent variable, okay, and the moderator and the interaction. The interaction, we go into the original sample mean or the standard beta. This one is the standard beta. Okay. Okay, this is the standard beta here. And this is the standard deviation. This sample mean, I wouldn't need it. Actually, I can just take this sample mean of just maybe delete it. All right, and this is the standard beta. I have the independent variable. Okay, the independent variable would be, first, let me pick up the moderator, the interaction effect. The interaction effect would be 0.099, which is this one, all right? This is for the interaction effect. So we put the standard beta for the independent variable, okay, which is, how did I get for the, sorry, the interaction, okay, which is the moderating effect, this one 0.099. Then we go into the moderator. The moderator is the attitudes towards using, not with the actual system use, no, behavioral intention to use, this one. Okay, this is number 2. We put it here as minus 0.529. Remaining is the independent variable. Okay, let me put it as 0 here. You see how the graph changed? Okay, however, if I go and get its value, and this is the relationship between perceived usefulness and behavioral intention to use, which is this one, the third one. Okay, minus 0.565, minus 0.565. All right, guys. All right, this is the relationship, okay? This is the relationship as shown here, all right? So we have the dependent variable and the independent variable. The independent variable in this case would be the perceived usefulness, and the dependent variable would be the behavioral intention to use. So the more, in this case, the more we have, this is the independent variable, okay? The more we have of perceived usefulness, we can read it this way. So if we have higher value of perceived usefulness, that will lead to lower value in the dependent variable, which is here, the behavioral intention to use. Okay, so this is how we can graph our moderation effect. Okay, we don't have to worry about those other ones, all right, the intercept, etc. We don't have to worry about those. So this is the way we can graph our. All right, my fellow students, so in this video, as you've noticed, we have introduced moderation, categorical moderation in SmartPLS before moving to some literature background about moderation effects in structural equation modeling using SmartPLS, and then moving into an application of creating a moderating effect and running bootstrapping to get our relationships before graphing those relationships. Please stay tuned, and stay tuned for coming video number 23 that will discuss continuous moderation in SmartPLS. Bye-bye for now.